betrayal, suffering, silence, and then an empty tomb. As they drew near to Jerusalem, the road itself seemed to carry a sense of destiny. Jesus knew where this path would lead. Every step forward was a step closer to fulfillment, closer to sacrifice, closer to victory that would come through suffering. When they reached the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 of his disciples ahead with simple instructions. They would find a donkey and her colt. They were to untie them and bring them. If questioned, they were to say only this: "The Lord needs them." And so it was done. Jesus mounted the colt and began the descent toward the city. Crowds gathered quickly. Cloaks were spread on the road. Branches were cut from trees and waved in celebration. Voices rose together in praise. Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. The city stirred. Jerusalem asked the question it had been asking for centuries. Who is this? And the answer echoed through the streets. This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee. Jesus entered the temple courts. Instead of applauding the activity there, he overturned tables. Coins scattered. Chairs fell. His voice rang out with righteous authority. "My house will be called a house of prayer," he said, "but you are making it a den of robbers." The blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them there. Children cried out in praise. Religious leaders were indignant. "Do you hear what these children are saying?" they demanded. Jesus answered calmly, "From the lips of children and infants you have ordained praise." Early the next morning, as he returned to the city, Jesus saw a fig tree with leaves but no fruit. He spoke to it, and it withered. It was a living parable. Appearance without substance. Religion without transformation. In the temple, leaders questioned his authority. Jesus answered their questions with questions of his own, exposing hearts unwilling to submit to truth. He told parables that revealed what was coming. Of tenants who rejected the owner's son. Of invited guests who refused the invitation. Of judgment and accountability. Some listened in silence. Some plotted in anger. Jesus spoke openly about hypocrisy. About leaders who loved recognition more than righteousness. Who burdened others while refusing to lift a finger themselves. Yet even in warning, his words carried grief. Not hatred. Not bitterness. Grief. "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem," he said, "you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you, how often I have longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you are not willing." Leaving the temple, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives and spoke privately to his disciples. He spoke of coming destruction, of wars and rumors of wars, of persecution and endurance, of false messiahs and growing deception. He urged them to stay awake, to be ready, to live faithfully in the waiting. He told stories of servants entrusted with responsibility, of virgins waiting with lamps lit, of talents given and expected to be used, of a final separation where compassion would reveal true allegiance. "What you did for the least of these," he said, "you did for me." As the Passover approached, the plot tightened. Religious leaders sought a way to arrest Jesus quietly. Judas, one of the 12, went to them. "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?" 30 pieces of silver were counted out. In an upper room, Jesus gathered with his disciples. He washed their feet, kneeling before them as a servant. "I have set you an example," he said. During the meal, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to them. "This is my body, given for you." He took the cup. "This is my blood of the covenant, poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." Then he spoke words that cut deeply. "One of you will betray me." They were troubled. Each asked, "Is it I?" Even Peter, confident and bold, promised loyalty unto death. Jesus looked at him with compassion. "Before the rooster crows," he said, "you will disown me 3 times." They went to a place called Gethsemane. Jesus asked his disciples to watch and pray. He went a little farther and fell face down. "My Father," he prayed, "if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." The weight was immense. His sweat fell like drops of blood. When Judas arrived with soldiers, betrayal came with a kiss. Jesus did not resist. He was arrested. His disciples fled. Peter followed at a distance. Fear overtook courage. 3 times he denied knowing Jesus. And the rooster crowed. Jesus stood before the council, silent before false witnesses. He was mocked, spit upon, struck. At dawn, he was handed over to Pilate. Though innocent, he was condemned. The crowd cried out, "Crucify him!" A crown of thorns was placed on his head. He was beaten and led away. They nailed him to a cross. Darkness covered the land. My God, why have you forsaken me?" He cried. And then, "It is finished." The earth shook. The temple curtain tore from top to bottom. Graves opened. When Jesus breathed his last, a centurion spoke words no one expected. Surely this was the Son of God. They placed him in a tomb. A stone sealed it. Guards stood watch. But death could not hold him. At dawn on the third day, the earth shook again. The stone was rolled away. The tomb was empty. An angel spoke to the women. "He is not here. He has risen, just as he said." Jesus appeared, alive, victorious. He met his disciples in Galilee and spoke final words. "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go and make disciples of all nations. I am with you always, to the very end of the age." The King had come. The sacrifice was complete. The kingdom was advancing. And the invitation still stands. Not just to watch, not just to listen, but to follow. If this story has spoken to your heart, take a moment to respond. Subscribe to continue this journey through Scripture. Share this message with someone who needs hope. And remember, this is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a life transformed. Subscribe and share this gospel series. The story doesn't end here. It continues in transformed lives.